All right, guys, we're back at it. FSD version 13.2 in New York City. Going to be testing out going from Manhattan to Brooklyn now to see how it fares. Again, that inner city, inner borough travel to and from Manhattan is the key. The value proposition for FSD in this particular area. Very monotonous drive, very problematic drive for a lot of owners, in the city. A lot of people who commute into the city where this could add lots of value. Let's go ahead and start here. Press and hold, engage from here, going in reverse, police car coming. Going to drive. A little bit of a 3-point situation here because of the cab. Turn signal on, good poise behind this person going. And we're off. Great job. Excellent, excellent job. Really feels autonomous, if you will. Even though these cars are not autonomous, they just replicate what humans can do and can maneuver a car from point A to point B by itself. So not autonomous. This is still a level 2 advanced, super advanced driver assistance system that, again, just emulates what a human can do, and even more so by manipulating the car to get from point A to point B without a human intervening. Major pothole. Probably could have avoided those. Multiple. Is there with the lights on. Has to go around it. It's getting awfully close to it. I don't like how close it is to it right here. This is not making me very comfortable. It's super close to the cab, to the ambulance. And if they get the call, they need to move. We need to be in a better position than this. Let's see if it goes around and follows that car when the light changes. Green light. Yeesh, look how close it is. Not great, but competent, does it, gets the job done. Great views in New York City right now. Super cold outside. Not a lot of traffic. Get a chance to take it in. And that's one of the things you can do briefly with FSD, is be able to take in the sights a little bit more as it navigates you around the city. I believe we're going to take the Brooklyn Bridge. It's a common pathway to get to Brooklyn and to New York, and to Manhattan, and also to Brooklyn. See how it does there. Hard to see the lines here. Does a great job of finding a path, staying in the lane. Great job. So the turning lane needs to go straight. Not the greatest. Probably should have knew that ahead of time. Just both by vision and by maps. Said go straight. That was a turn only. Trying not to block. Needs to get around. Quick decision. Great job. Great job improvising. Here is where it needs to get over. To bear to the left. Or it can stay there. Hey, maybe it knows better than me. All right, we're on the move. Lots of sun glare. No problem for FSD. A little bit of an accelerator press. Glare was an issue there. Glare was an issue there. It didn't see where it was relative to the intersection because you can't see the lines with the glare. So it kind of slowed down correctly for the light, but it was already in the middle of the intersection. So I had to give a little bit of accelerator. Didn't need to disengage with some accelerator to get it through the intersection there. No excuses for it. I make no excuses for it ever. It just was a situation where it couldn't see the lines. It couldn't see where it was relative to the intersection because everything is so blown out with the sun reflection. We've got some kind of cameras up here coming up. Hopefully they don't do anything to us. Getting behind this police car might put us in a safe position. Again, very hard to see the lane lines. Needs to get up one more, does it so aggressively. Great time of day to test this just because you can't really see the lane lines, so it really has to improvise and use whatever it can to be able to understand where it is. Takes the yellow, continues through. That was okay. Looks to make a lane change. No turn signal. That's not okay. Turn signal, turn signal, turn signal. Well, I think it fares much better than a human would given these glaring sun conditions. It is still impacted to some extent with it, I think. Its ability to see the lane lines, understand where it is. So it has some impact from it. got a little bit more to go. It's not trying to take me the way I wanted to go to the Brooklyn Bridge. I want to change it back. It's going to be some traffic, but at least we'll be able to at least see what the Brooklyn Bridge experience is like with FSD. At the yellow light, we're blocking just like that person, but a little further in. Everybody around us has sunglasses or a visor down to help them see in these conditions. FSD is fully exposed with these cameras up here with whatever filters it has. Person coming. Good job waiting for him. Stop. Ugh. Did it again. Cab did it too. Everybody's doing it. I'm gonna back up here just to get out of where I need to be. We've just gone too far. The limit line is not visible when the sun is like this. All right, let it reset. Yeah, the limit line is not visible. Cab did it. This person next to me kind of did it. The limit line is way back here, as you can see. The car is having a hard time seeing it, so it's coming to a stop, but it's not knowing where to stop because the limit line is not visible. So here's where it's kind of weak. For this particular type of pavement, under these conditions, with white lines, not in the shadow. In the shadow, the contrast is there, but in the sun, it's not a good look. So some areas to work on, Tesla, for these types of scenarios. Use our clips. Please do. Changed our, okay. Didn't change our route. Speed camera warning. Good job getting over. Nice and smooth to the yellow. seems to be cleared up a bit, so we should be able to get this tunnel with not a whole lot of gridlock. Turn at the same time. Go ahead, lady. Oh, sorry. Was in the wrong lane, needed to get over. Seems to be some small tweaks of data that need to be adjusted for New York City. Doesn't seem to understand where it needs to be in advance of where it needs to be there. This is where it needs to turn in. We're going under the tunnel here. And it didn't know that it needed to be in the other lane. People naturally would have staged that. Little contrast issue here from light to dark. Over the tunnel. A little too close here. Close to the line. Preference. Didn't quite go over it, but it looks like the visualization in sync is there, where it's showing that's close to the line and it's showing that's close to the line in the visualization versus going over the line and showing that it's not going over the line in the visualization. Good job here. Here. Just get over. Good job. Views of the Brooklyn Bridge. decision here. Staying in the line, maintaining speed. Getting ready to get over when the moment allows. This is going sooner. This car is waiting until it gets to the dash part, which is when he's supposed to make the lane change. Excellent job there. Obviously, the fire department, there might be an emergency or might be trying to get somewhere quickly, but it did the right thing, the safer course of action. And that's what we want to see from FSD. Always take the safer course of action. Tight quarters on the bridge. Good job maintaining composure and poise. Lots of glare still. Great job overall. This is stupendous. I can imagine someone having to get up early and make this drive in to get to the city for work, or coming back late from work, or midday, depending on what your shift is, where this can be super valuable for you. Again, Teslas are not autonomous. They're not level 5. They just have AI that simulates a human, manipulates the car to go from point A to point B all by itself without human intervention. Super advanced driver assistance, level 2. Another good example, glare is a problem. The car needs to go straight, so it probably needs to be in that lane over there. We are in 2 turning lanes. And we have some kind of camera coming up past the light. So I'm curious to see what it does and when it does it. Again, I think it has everything to do with visibility, the sun glare, the height of this truck to not be able to see beyond it. May all play a factor. But let's see what happens. Here we go. Gets over now. Almost at the destination with a litany of different construction, cameras, and all kinds of traffic. Curious if we could bypass some of this. just to get this sooner. Maybe go here. See what happens. But so far so good. One intervention. I'm not really interested in 0 interventions. We'll get there eventually. I'd love for them to just get it right and do it right, so that it naturally has no interventions. But the intervention stayed in the incorrect lane, which caused me and another driver to try to turn at the same time. It turned, and I was trying to get around another car. I was a police officer, so I just said, let me just try to get over and take over. So I intervened there. Obviously, the issue with the glaring issue and knowing where the limit line is also a problem for FSD right now in its current form. But again, all this helps. All this can help feed back information to Tesla. And what would help even more is if they set up Tesla autopilot drivers here in New York City. That would be super helpful. They'll get way more data. Oh, the debris. I'm trying to nudge it to come this way a little bit. It's kind of close. So much debris over here. Here's an interesting left turn situation. Needs to go left here, or stage the left turn up here. It went over the yellow line. Not the greatest. So they're double turning here. I knew what it was trying to do. I could sense it. It was trying to stage that lane. It could be in either one and make the left lane change. It chooses the innermost lane most of the time. Makes a nice tight turn and then looks to make the next lane change if it needs to get over, which is fine, which is the correct behavior. But I would love for it to do that in a more organic manner where it's not going over this. So come here, then pull in. And if this is too far, then just use the outermost lane as opposed to driving over, which is what humans do and is the incorrect behavior. Needs to go a little wide here to make this turn, and I beg that it goes wide. Oof, whew, I'm so nervous, so nervous. It has not failed me yet, but that's very nerve-wracking, these high curbs. But great job, FSD, for handling that for me and helping restore me from my PTSD. Trying to follow this other car. Good job getting in here and being assertive. Come on, got to be a little more assertive. Come on. Let this car go and let that car let us go, which is great. Good job. Now we're all stuck at the light because it wasn't assertive enough. But again, safer course of action. I'm okay with that. If I had my druthers, it'd be a little bit more assertive. Would have cut that car off, let it go to get to its destination, especially in hurry mode. But if the safer course of action is to let them go, we just chill here at the light, I'm okay with that. Versus causing an incident, jumping in front of this car potentially sideswiping us, or that car sideswiping us as we try to zoom past it. Okay, I'm okay with that. But again, just personal preference of how I would drive versus how the car is driving. The car should drive with an abundance of safety, which it does, and use the safer course of action, which it does. And I can appreciate that. If I want to be more aggressive, I drive myself. But there right now. But to be more effective, there's a little bit more assertiveness that it needs. Dial it up just a little bit. If it's at 10 right now, dial it up to 11. Even here, we're passing the limit line. Now there's no excuse because there's no sun glare. So there's something here that needs a little bit of tweaking. More data might be needed here. We're going to the Children's Museum. We go here every now and again, so we could definitely get this data as we make this trip to the Children's Museum. I did take a detour So I'm gonna make a little bit of a deviation and go that way. See how it does. But from a core competency perspective, excellent. From the nuanced perspective of New York City, it needs a little work. As I said before, that I coined the phrase that FSD is your local driver everywhere. It needs a little bit more local expertise here in the city to understand what lanes to be in, what lanes not to be in, how to make certain maneuvers, what type of assertiveness you need in order to interact with certain drivers, those types of things. Great reflexes though, great reflexes. Coming up on the Barclays Center, and you probably have to be in the left lane because there's a crane right there. Now, I saw that crane. I would have gotten over earlier. FSD sees the crane. It's going to get over at the same time that these guys get over. This person's not cooperating right here. Let's see what FSD does. Here's the level of assertiveness. He's waving us on. He says wait. He says go. I stopped here because there's miscommunication. This guy said go. See that? He said stop, so that was confusing for everyone. Car sticking out and pedestrian staging. See what happens. Good job. Good poise. Not overreacting for the pedestrian, which is great. Cyclist. Speed camera coming up. Or traffic camera coming up. Needs to get into this turning lane, if this is a turning lane. Kind of isn't a turn, it's more of a shoulder. But just trying to get over. Let the other cars go first, then we'll hopefully do its thing. Didn't quite react for this police officer. I want to take this turn just because it didn't really react. Turned its sirens on, I guess. Just not looking for the lights. But these cars are double parked. Lots of sun glare. Good job handling that. Bus is here, or truck is here. Great job handling that. And we're off. Slowly centers itself back into the lane, very naturally. Great job. citation here. It's reading a 20-mile-per-hour speed limit. I'm not sure where that came from. I must have missed something right by police. I guess police headquarters. What is this? Or just police are out there. Oh, good job. Good job, pedestrian. Avoidance. This person also just got pulled over. We're kind of wobbling all over the place because of the double parked cars. So we're kind of weaving in and out as we get to different parked cars, just as this person is too, but it's just interesting. Good job, pedestrian. For our photo enforced speed limit, we are below 25, so we should be okay. Always stop. Let the pedestrians go. Super cold outside, I know. I know the feeling. Got to get a little bit more centered. We're not quite as centered as I would prefer now. And I think it's having a hard time seeing the lane lines. That's the problem. As you can see, we're over the line here. It's not even visualizing that line fully in the visualization. But I think it's having some hard time seeing. But fear not, we're almost at our destination. Should be there shortly. And see how it does. Just for fun, I'll just deviate one more time. So about a 40-minute drive from the city to get out to Brooklyn, and then being able to traverse Brooklyn to get to a destination. Turn down here with everybody else. Lots of sun glare here on the turn, but let's see what happens. It's making a turn on red. I guess it can. Pedestrian is there. It kind of let us, and now we're blocking the crosswalk, which is not great. Again, I'm just letting it do what it does. Sorry, sir, I'm blocking the crosswalk, trying to make this turn on red, when I probably shouldn't have. And we'll probably just go on green in the first place. So now it's on green, pedestrian going, and now we go. So we might as well just have waited as opposed to inconveniencing the person crossing. But I get what they was trying to do, trying to hurry to get us to the destination and trying to expedite the situation by making the turn on red, but it wasn't assertive enough to do it when it had an opportunity to do it. Speed bump, does it see it? It did. Speed up, another speed bump. Nice coverage, good slowdown. 12 miles an hour, good to go. Nice. Just really not in the right lane at all. I want to try to nudge it, just nudging the wheel a little bit just to say, hey, get over here. I know that that car was turning in, but it should not be just running over the line here until it necessarily has to. Good job, keep going. Good maneuver around this, get around here. Back over, nice and slow, methodical, using predictive slowdowns behind this truck in case someone comes. Great. And just now, if you can get center again. It's just not trying to get center. Come on, nudge the wheel. Come on. We're so close to the side of the road. It's just it's nervous now. I'm going to disengage. We're just so close. Let me see something for a minute. Let me just check maybe my tire pressure, something. Seems to be nothing. But that was just awkward. Oh, that was nasty too. The edge of that thing. So not quite ready for this level, this level of traffic conditions for some odd reason. It could be the sun glare hitting that camera from that angle, causing it to do certain things. I'm not sure. There's a lot of, there's just too much debris. Too much debris to just ride through that. And here's our destination, so right here, so we're good. All right, so let me know what you thought, guys. Let me know what you thought about that particular drive from Manhattan to Brooklyn. We're gonna do our final part of a drive when we leave New York City. We'll do that next. But from my perspective, I wanna give it low levels of Uber Black. Still very comfortable where it was competent, and the majority of the drive was very comfortable, but there are certain nuances and specific things in New York City and Brooklyn that it's just not quite ready for, and it needs a little bit more assertiveness. So I'm going to drop it down from high levels of Uber Black to a low level of Uber Black with this particular drive. And I'll know not to try this in Brooklyn as much because it's not quite fine-tuned for Brooklyn. Okay, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Until the next time, enjoy your day. Enjoy your Tesla.